Welcome back to Building 1313. I've actually started to work on the front section and right now I was actually doing the right side of this, because since I never did that section like about 6 months ago or 7 months ago, I said I was going to do it, but I actually didn't. So this is what I actually have done so far. As you can tell, it's a 13 for 1313, and it was just going to attach on the side like right there, but it's going to look really good when it's all done. And I've also continued to build up this section right here, up low bricks. I literally have just a handful of dark bluish gray bricks, so I'm going to have to purchase some more. Which means, technically, that will be the first purchase for a single brick on this whole MOC. Because all of these bricks I've had in my collection, which I think is pretty insane. If I can say I've built this, what I've just had lying around. Which I've tried specifically not to order, like, bricks in general, but instead, like, just order huge quantities of bricks overall. But technically, I've ordered minifigures for this MOC, but it's not specifically bricks. So technically, I've not spent a single dollar on this MOC using Bricklink. And I've also started to build up the interior section of this side and the other side as well, which they're exactly mirrored, so not anything too special right there. But I thought it was kind of a cool technique. I've actually used some snot right here, and then used 1x1 cheese slopes to bridge that connection right there, because if I use a tile and a plate, it just wouldn't work. It would be like this little gap right here, which I can't really figure out a way to fix that, so I just have to deal with it. And I've also started to build up this structure right here, because before it was pretty not sturdy, but now I'm actually start to build up this section, the second level. But I can't really build on the second level because I have to build up the section over there before, because this whole section right here is actually a wall, and then it's gonna have structure on top of it. But I thought this was pretty cool to figure out like the angle from right here. So I used some Technic bricks and some of these hinge bricks to offset that like little angle, maybe like 10 degrees. But the 10 degrees here is like different from every single one. So I had to figure out some sort of connection between these to make sure it's parallel with everything else. Make sure the bottom is actually perpendicular, because it's a grid. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And you can tell I've been working over here, so it's a little bit messy. I've also added to this section right here because I thought this section kind of needed to be separated in a way, because this is supposed to be all clean and stuff, and then over here is all like dirty and grungy, which I kind of think that it should have some sort of separation, because this is like a work area and this is just like hell. So I put this little slope section right here, which I think looks really nice. And I also made sure to have like a little crawl space for them to actually access the ladder. And I've also finished this section where there's a little mini sewer right here, but I thought it would look really good with this like 1x16 rail piece, which I think looks really cool as like a support beam, which I think looks really dynamic. Like it actually does look like it's supporting the whole structure. Then I go up to the side over here. I've actually included a little bit of greebling, because I noticed this MOC didn't have that much greebling, so I want to add more greebling throughout the whole MOC. And if I go up a little bit, there's actually gonna be like a little platform right here to access the interior of right here. So I was building this section, I wanted to have like a balcony showing with some glass too. And then I made some broken pieces right there, because I know it's gonna be broken. And then I had these two figures fighting, which I thought was really cool. But if I go to the other side, he's actually just stabbing his stomach, which I think was pretty cool technique to actually put the blade in his stomach a little bit, and he's reaching out for help or mercy. And it looks really dynamic, since you can tell that the figure has some weight and actually broke the glass, and it's dynamic, so it actually shows that the figure has weight. So if you go on this side, it shows that the weight of him has actually broken the glass, which I think is pretty cool. So little details like that in a MOC really does show how dynamic and lived in these figures actually are. It's like they're part of the environment and they interact with it. Don't set figures on a MOC and just not have anything to do with them. Because I've actually included another technique I saw on Instagram where a person used a rope piece attached to a person to make sure it like simulates that he's actually roping him, which we've seen the Mandalorian do, which I thought was pretty cool. So I'm thinking like maybe Mandalorians and bounty hunters do this all the time, which I think looks really great. Also over here I started to build some crates, and I filled it with 1x1 red studs because I want to simulate that actually is a spice, because in Star Wars they always talk about spice and how it's like referred to as drugs. And each one of these crates there's actually a little bit of 1x1 studs, which I thought was pretty cool. So I just put that right there. I actually do want to finish up the front section of this MOC with the little bricks I have, so let's go do that. So I've completely finished this section off, and I'm amazed how well it looks. Because before it was just this section, which it was just that little part right there, and the front door right here. Now that I've actually completed that section, it looks so much larger than it did before. Also in the fact that it's all snot, which looks amazing. There is some gaps like right here and like right here, which I'm not too happy about. And also a little section over there has a little gap. But overall, it's pretty negligible, which I think is pretty great. I was actually surprised because this section over here, it actually took like 4 or 5 hours to do, which I thought it would just be the same as this side, but I had to do a completely different technique because if I take this little section off, there's actually a bunch of jumpers right here, or a 1x2 bricks with a stud on the side right there, and then the same up here. It's kind of weird because there's actually like a little gap right here, and also like right here as well, which I can't really do anything about. And I also have to replace those little panel pieces on the side so it's dark bluish gray alongside with the top section. It's because I don't have those pieces right now. I just want to build it right now so to see what it overall looks like, which I think looks really great. I've actually built up the center part right here, which is supposed to be like a dark bluish gray stripe going all the way up, which right now it's like 2 inches, which I would like to expand it like maybe a foot or 2 when this whole block is like, you know, a lot larger. The great thing about building the front section, I'm actually able to open up the front doors and like get the girth of the MOC, which I mean like the thickness from here to all the way in there, which makes it look like there's a lot of things going on in there, but it's pretty empty. So I like that I'm able to imagine that there is something going on, but it's nothing. I'm in love how this looks so far, which I think it's about like 2.5 feet long. And I think it looks exactly like the photo. So that's the end of this episode. Have a great day and make sure to have a good Thanksgiving.